your speaker for this evening. At first, when I was asked, I'm like, no. But then I said, well, we're trying to carry the legacy on of our mother, so why not take advantage of that opportunity? So we're honored to share our experience growing up in Bemis, right up the street here on Hunt Street. And I will be sharing some experiences that I had growing up and what we are doing today, okay? Thinking back, growing up, we lived right down the street on Hunt Street. Everybody familiar where Hunt Street is? That street looks so short now. But back then, it was the longest street. I have a list of how many homes were on that street at the time I was there, and it said 23. But today, when I drove up there, I'm like, where were they? But they must have been 2 bedrooms or whatever. But I think it's 1, maybe 2 houses over there now. But we loved Hunt Street. When we moved, I really actually cried. When we moved to Jackson, I actually cried because I didn't want to leave. But growing up on Hunt Street, there were 3 Wilbourn brothers that lived on Hunt Street. My father was Frank Wilbourn, my uncle was James Wilbourn, and my other uncle was David Wilbourn. So 3 Wilbourn brothers lived on Hunt Street, and Frank Wilbourn, which was my father, and mother were married, and they had 8 children. So when I was very young, they ended up getting a divorce. So I can only remember Mama raising us. And I just remember her and the people on Hunt Street really helping with us and doing things for us. And that was just a prime example of it takes a village. So we were really a village there, raising each other's children and supporting each other and encouraging each other. So I remember those great deeds back then. But my mom, being a divorced mom, she was really smart. I always looked at her and she was just busy all the time. She set such wonderful examples. She would always have us doing something. She always, now we can't sit still because we always feel like it's something that needs to be done because she kept us busy. Oh, I keep Tony busy too, we say it. No, it doesn't work though. But she would have us going to pick up water, walking to get water. We didn't have running water in the home. We had an outside bathroom, and we would plant a garden, and we'd wash the clothes outside on the back porch, things like that. And she just kept us busy and had us busy, and we loved it. We were really taught of the work ethic by example. Mama worked at Sidney Davis Floors. You all remember where that was. She worked at Sidney Davis Floors. That was right up there on the corner somewhere over there. She would walk up there, and then she would work there during the week. And on the weekend, she would work at Miss Inez's beauty shop. You all, anybody familiar with Miss Inez's beauty shop? I think it was located downtown, kind of somewhere around there where Vineyards used to be, if anybody familiar with that. But I remember her working there, and while she worked at those 2 places, she would meet ladies that would she would get jobs for us to do. We would go, and she'd come home and say, Johnny, I need you to go up there on whatever street, and you and Kara, y'all take the rakes up there and go and rake their yard. So we would go rake the people's yards, and my older sisters would go and clean houses and stuff. And we did things like that to supplement her income to take care of us. And so we just stayed busy. But it wasn't all work and no play. While she was gone to work, since there were 7 girls and 1 boy, we did a lot. We kept busy doing other things. And then when it was close to time for her to come home, we would just, by the time we saw her turn the corner, coming down the street, everything was cleaned up and the way she wanted it. But during that day, we would be across the ditch picking blackberries and persimmons and all types of things, going swimming in the little lake or creek or somewhere they would, and little boys would be jumping over the fence, running when she came, and everything. So it was really nice. We had some really wonderful experiences on Hunt Street. But one of the things that Mama did do when she got out of work, she was always busy, as I said, and she kept us busy. She would take in sewing. That was one of her hobbies. She took in sewing from friends and people at the beauty shop and places like that. And so somehow her clientele just got bigger and bigger. And she taught us how to sew. She had us to hem pants or put buttons on or thread the needles, or we were always around her while she was sewing. And I think she had that plan, so that was one of her dreams, was to one day own a business, be in business with all of her daughters. We didn't know anything about it, her dream, but that was one of the things that she told us. And I remember, I was one of the smaller ones. I was the third from the bottom. It was 7 girls. I would fan her because we didn't have air conditioning. It was the 3 younger ones were the fanners. We weren't old enough to sew at that time. So we would get cardboard paper boxes and stand there and fan her while she was sewing. So I kind of learned by being there with her and, watching her. As the time went on, we grew up and got older and we started sewing and wearing clothes, and people just admired what we wore. We wore all of everything we wore, my mom made it or we did. So as we got older and we went to college and got jobs and stuff, we moved to Jackson, and as I mentioned earlier, I really cried when we left Bemis because I loved it. We didn't have a lot, but we didn't do without anything. And we loved it, and a lot of love there. So when we moved to Jackson, Mama got to where she couldn't work at the hospital anymore, so she had to retire from the hospital. So she decided to sew at home. She decided to stay at home, put her shop in and sew, and because she had enough clientele to, take care of things. So three of us decided to quit our jobs, and we built her a little sewing shop in the back of her driveway. She had a little shed back there, and we put some machines back there, and all of us just started sewing. And that's how the Wilbourn sisters formed the Wilbourn Sewing and Alteration. That was the name of our first shop. We just started sewing, and people got a word of mouth. People started coming. We've never gone over 40 years without having anything to do for sewing. So we appreciate any of you. Several of you has come to me and said that you have been one of our customers or have supported us down through the years. So I just want to take this time right now to thank you all for your support and telling others about us. And now I have a little video we're going to show of the pictures of some of my sisters. We didn't take many pictures when we were younger. So there's a few pictures, one picture on there of a few, me and my sisters when we were smaller, but a few of them are of the 7 girls. And our brother got married he was the oldest one, so he wasn't at home when we were doing all this, so he's not in the pictures, and he died at an early age, at 30 or something. Okay, yeah. So, he's going to show the slide, and it's a little video on there explaining of the routes that the Wilbourn sisters have done. There were 3 different businesses that we ended up creating as we got older. The one business was Wilbourn Sewing and Alterations, where we took in sewing. We designed clothing for people. They would dream up of something or make cheerleader uniforms and did alterations. That's where I worked with me and my mom for over 40 years, until she passed, rather. And then there were two of my sisters did upholstery. They took in upholstery, they would get furniture and recover it and refurbish it. And then there were two younger sisters, the two, what can I call them? Very, very creative and exotic. Yeah, that's a good name. They were kind of really exotic and not just basic clothing they would wear, but they are the designers now, and they're the ones that has taken their designs internationally to Paris and different places like that. So I have a little video of them explaining to you what they're doing in some of their designs, okay? So he's going to just start with a few little pictures here. That's our mom. Her name is Elizabeth Wilbourn. We're trying to carry her legacy on. That's me in the little white dress there, some of my sisters. Okay, that's the list of the people that lived on Hunt Street. And I can't believe that all those people lived there, that many homes. Okay, go ahead. And this is that's my mom in the pink there, and that's all 7 of us. All 7 girls. And that's the first article that the Jackson Sun put in the paper about the sewing shop. And we were at Mama's 60th birthday party there, all 7 of us. Then a dream came true of her opening that business up. And they did an article about that. And these others are just pictures of us as we were in the shop, and they've done different stories about the Wilbourn family. That's when Mama passed. They did an article about that in the paper. That sister there, she's passed. She lost her battle with cancer a couple years ago. And that's me. That's Mama sewing. She loved to sew. She would sing and sew and just, I was just glad she had said, "Johnny, come and fan me." We had her teaching about that. She had us working, and it is wonderful. That's why we want to really carry her legacy on. I think that's the last one. Then there'll be a couple of videos showing about what we're really doing.
Wilbourn Sisters Designs is a global fashion design company owned and operated by 2 of the most powerful, ambitious, and skillful designers, Carolyn and Janice Wilbourn. Based out of the United States, Carolyn runs business on the West Coast in Los Angeles, while Janice holds down the East Coast right here in Atlanta, Georgia. The art of sewing was passed down from the 2 sisters' grandmother, Susie Chisholm, to their mother, Elizabeth Chisholm, famously known as Queen Mother Elizabeth, and then down to the Wilbourn sisters. Janice and Carolyn are actually 2 out of 7 sewing sisters. With over 50 years of business, Carolyn and Janice strive to keep their family's legacy alive. Recently named Entrepreneur of the Year, this is Janice Wilbourn's story.
The Wilbourn Sisters Designs. First of all, Sister Carolyn and I, we're 2 of 7 designing Wilbourn sisters from Jackson, Tennessee, originally. I'm Janice, and my business partner is Carolyn. My mother has 7 daughters and 1 son. So, of course, by me being the youngest, I actually got to enjoy each of them. It was like having 6 brothers, basically. 7 moms. But anyway, early as 2 years old, I actually started working. And that was because my mother always had a sewing room. And with all the sewing machines in the house, and she was teaching us at a very young age to work. So we've been entrepreneurs all our lives. So we learned to gift at home. And we went to school to learn how to take it to another level. Yeah, so we were excited about that. And it has come to this day. So just dreaming big. My mother is still a treasure today. So she actually trained up her children the way they should go. We were definitely spiritual. My mother taught us how to put God first, and she was the foundation of our family. And she made her transition in 2009. She was 82 years old, so she lived a beautiful life. And she raised all her daughters to be entrepreneurs, business-minded, beautiful, loving. So she was that person and still is today. And that's one thing I always recommend to tell other people, is to love them up. But once they make the transition, they never leave you. They're with you forever. So her spirit lives here today. She's with us all the time. And it's all about her legacy. She left us a legacy. She left us a trade, something that'll be around forever. And we're 4 generations. And in her family, she was the sibling in her family that took the sewing trade and taught it to her children. Because her mother also was a singer. And, you know, her grandmother was a singer. So today, of course, we have to teach to the next generation. So here in the boutique tailor is one of my students, and also a perfect young lady that would love to learn the trade. So I want to teach it to young women like her and whoever else wants to learn. So we're starting sewing classes. We're always wanting to start like a trade school, fashion, centrical arts, something that we can teach our trade and skill onto the people that want to learn. So it can continue to be in the earth, in our race. The work ethic is very, very important. I think that's something that she really instilled in us. If you want something out of life, you have to work for it. There's nothing in life free. You have to work for the things that you want. And that's something that we do daily. We work all the time. Of course, we love what we do because it's our passion. It's what we dream of doing. You got to put all you got in it. And by doing that, this happened here at the boutique downtown Atlanta. We've been in business over 25 years at least in Atlanta. So of course, right, having that drive to see your dream come true, it will manifest if you put down first work. Moved from Tennessee back in the 80s, actually moved to Dallas, Texas. That was my first real job when I moved to Dallas, Texas. I worked for Xerox. Carol and I both worked for Xerox. So once we were doing that for a while, we started working for our coworkers, doing little hand, alterations for our coworkers. Even my boss was one of my customers. And so we started out doing that at work. And then, I remember as early as 1984, I remember I told Carol, I said, wow, we make more money on the side. So we needed, so 2 weeks later, we put in our notice. We put in our, notice to like quit working for Xerox and winning business ourselves. Started our own business because people love what we do. And then from there we moved to Germany. We got an opportunity to move to Germany. One of my sisters was military, our husband was military. So we ended up moving to Germany, lived there, and ended up meeting a European lady, a German lady. And she hired us as her designer. So we went in business with her. And she recognized talent. She recognized our gifts very early. We made all the clothes in our store. Just back here in the boutique. But back in the day, we did more tailoring. We did more couture. Very exclusive, high fashion before. But when we moved back to the States in 1987, we came back and decided to do the freedom dressing. But we got away from the couture, really tailored, European cut, and started doing designing what we love to do. And that brought out what we are today, which is free-flowing design, fit on size women, all nationalities, all occasions. So it's not just so structured. It's more free-flowing. In here, it's kind of like my closet. So I have another showroom downstairs, which is for the rental garments and the off-season clothing. But being a fashion designer, you can design whatever it is you want, something that you want. If something you don't have, you can design it, make it. And also, one thing I also recommend, most designers, a lot of them don't sew. A lot of people are starting to, sew more as designers. I recommend designers, young people that want to be designers, I recommend that they learn to sew. Very, very important that you learn how to also make your samples. You can come up with an idea, but you first need to know how to make it. Learn how to make it, at least the basics. And that's what we're working to do, to help teach basic sewing. But as far as once you really, really, really get into the position that you are a designer, so creative, think whatever you want. We're also manufacturers. That's why I recommend our fashion designers to learn to sew. So they can become their own manufacturers. Now, Miami Fashion Week was a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase our design got an opportunity to showcase our beautiful wrap dresses. And that was the first time we were on Bemis Runway like that. But we got a chance to meet other designers, and we got to see how they were doing things. But we really, really did enjoy that. Our main treasure, when women are really going somewhere, they really want to dress up. They want to look good, especially. So red carpet events, very exclusive stuff. We get to create and show our beautiful long gowns with the trains on. We love avant-garde. We love high fashion. You know today everybody loves red carpet. What do you wear? What do you wear? So of course they give us a chance to put our more exclusive things on red carpet. But then also we do a lot of festivals. We do a lot of conventions. And we do a lot of pop-up shops. So when we do those, we get to show a variety of our collection. But we design from casual wear all the way to red carpet. So from cruise wear, vacation, fun and fun type things, we make those things, so that we love doing that. So like the summer is coming, so of course now we're starting to do our wraps. We do a variety of wrap dresses. So this one wrap is perfect for your vacation. Because it's a swimsuit cover up, it can also be a cute little wrap skirt, it can be even a little wrap dress. That's one piece. It's a shawl, and it's called the butterfly wrap. It's a perfect little piece. We have at least 4 wrap dresses that we love to do. And it's amazing how all the different pieces are good on everybody. Everybody loves it. And the main wrap dress that's very special is the one that you can wear this about 10 to 15 ways. We call it the Carolina wrap dress. It's got 2 long straps. You've seen those that you can wrap them, tie different ways and stuff, one shoulder or whatever. And we have tutorials to show you all the ways to wear them on YouTube. So we have a YouTube channel as far as marketing, showing how to wear our clothes. But everything is perfect. Everything we do basically is some way you can change it, which is very good. That's how we do it. We love change. So you constantly have to, upgrade, change, whatever it is in the line of the clothing brand, but also in the brand line.
These are sacrifice drives. Kind of full circle of when you first when you visit, because we did start Okay, that concludes that. Thank you all for your sister that was on there from Atlanta, she's now an honorary professor at the Georgia State University. She's there teaching sewing and things there. So we appreciate you all, and thanks for listening. Thanks for your time.